Warning: the following story contains disturbing content, violence, and graphic imagery. Viewer discretion is advised. Not suitable for anyone under 18. Nightmares aren't the end, they're the entry. NoPulse.
This is a true story from the small town I grew up in, Estacada, Oregon. Mother's Day weekend, 2017. My dad went to our local grocery store, the Harvest Market in Estacada, Oregon, just picking up a few things for Mother's Day dinner. When he got home, the news was already breaking. Just minutes after he left, a man walked into that same store, carrying a grocery bag. He calmly grabbed a soda, then turned and stabbed a beloved store employee. Two shoppers managed to pin him down before he could hurt anyone else, and that's when the bag dropped. Now you're probably wondering, what was in it? Well, that would be his mother's head. Follow along while I tell you the whole story. A quiet logging town with a population just shy of 3,000, nestled along the Clackamas River, the town began forming in the early 1900s as a workers' camp during the construction of a hydroelectric dam, part of Portland's expanding power grid. Officially incorporated in 1905, the name Estacada was reportedly invented by executives at the Portland Railway Light and Power Company, maybe borrowed from Spanish where estacada means a stockade or corral, a cage, a trap. No one knows for sure and it's still debated, and somehow it feels right. Because Estacada is your average small town, the kind with a diner that knows your name, a grocery store with regulars, and just enough small town problems to remind you the big city isn't far away, the kind that many never leave. But on that beautiful May Mother's Day, the town would produce a nightmare that will live with it forever. On May 14, 2017, a man named Joshua Lee Webb, 36 years old, murdered his own mother, Tina Marie Webb, inside their family home in Colton, a rural town just a few miles outside Estacada, Oregon. He didn't just kill her, he decapitated her, killed the family dog, and placed his mother's severed head inside a grocery bag. Then he got in his car, placed his mother's severed head in the grocery bag on the front passenger seat next to him, and drove the 12 miles to Estacada's Harvest Market. What was going through his mind during that drive, no one really knows. But what happened next beyond anything Estacada was prepared for. At around 2:15 p.m., the automatic doors at the Harvest Market slid open. Joshua walked in. He was calm, covered in blood, but calm. He grabbed a cold soda from the cooler, then, without a word, he walked up to a longtime employee, Mike Wagner, at the time age 66, and stabbed him multiple times in the back and side. Wagner collapsed, seriously wounded but alive. He survived thanks to the courage of two shoppers, Justin and Josh, who tackled Joshua and pinned him down until police arrived. Later, the responding officers found the bag. Inside was his mother's severed head. Joshua was arrested without incident. He didn't run, he didn't speak. When police asked him what he needed, he simply said, "I'm thirsty." Investigators later learned that Joshua had been suffering from severe, untreated schizophrenia. He told doctors he believed his father was the devil, and that his mother was turning into a demon. In his mind, he thought he was doing the right thing. In 2018, Joshua was found guilty except for insanity. He was charged with murder, attempted murder, abuse of a corpse, assault, aggravated animal abuse. He was committed indefinitely to the Oregon State Hospital, a maximum security psychiatric facility.
The update. In late 2024, doctors at the Oregon State Hospital recommended a major step down in Joshua Webb's confinement. They claimed he was stable, medicated, no longer violent, and so the Psychiatric Security Review Board approved his conditional release. He was transferred to Lifeway's McNary Place, a secure residential treatment facility in Umatilla, Oregon. Not a hospital or a prison, a 16-bed locked facility with 24/7 staff where patients live in shared units under psychiatric supervision. It's essentially the last stop before reintegration. As you can imagine, it triggered outrage. Victims, prosecutors, and Estacada locals demanded he stay locked away permanently. They said, mental stability doesn't erase what happened. What if he stops taking his meds? What about the trauma, the survivors, the town? But the move happened anyway. So now, as of today, the man who walked into the small town harvest market carrying his mother's severed head and stabbed a random employee, Joshua Lee Webb, no longer lives in a high security hospital. He basically lives in a secure group home. And that fact alone is enough to keep small town Oregon wide awake.
Sometimes the scariest stories aren't fiction. They aren't ghosts or demons or monsters in the woods. Sometimes the horror shows up on a sunny Sunday, in a grocery bag, in your hometown, minutes after you were just there.
If this nightmare made your skin crawl, like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. New horrors every week. True crime, terror, and tales that don't die. Nightmares aren't the end. They're the entry. No pulse.